Hi, everybody. It's Joe from Ecommerce Platforms, and today we're going to be talking about a platform called Udemy or Udemy. It is an option for you to sell your products online through a worldwide marketplace. You've probably heard of it before, maybe not, but if you've ever thought of buying or selling an online course at some point, then you've probably heard of or stumbled upon Udemy. One of the reasons for that is because it's by far one of the most popular places to take a course, whether it's for photography or web design or whatever it is you want to learn. And what's more is that as a consumer, you can check ratings and reviews to filter out all the junk that might be out there. But the big question for you as a merchant is whether or not Udemy is a viable place for selling your own online courses. So, in this Udemy review, we'll talk about why it's so popular and outline the features that make it so appealing. Upon first glance, Udemy, it makes complete sense to start selling on this platform. It's already built for you. You don't have to worry about hosting or web design, and students can discover your courses through Udemy, removing any marketing that you would have to do on your end. Now, of course, you can also do your own marketing, which is going to be helpful, and you'll actually make more money if you do your own marketing. But when we scroll through here, you get a good look of what Udemy is. It's such a well thought out, well structured website. So, if you wanted to, let's take a look here. They have all sorts of categories: development, marketing, business, photography. Let's say we wanted to learn a little bit about photography. We'll click on that. And of course, people can search for courses way up here. They can scroll through the categories. Um, and all right, so let's take a look at some of these. The ultimate guide, photography masterclass. That sounds pretty good. A complete guide to photography. And it tells people that, there are 330 lectures over 21 hours for all levels. So, it kind of breaks it down for people so they can understand exactly what they're getting into. So if we click on the photography masterclass, I mean, it's just pretty amazing how everything is here for your students. And you get to set all this up. It's really quick. You don't need to know anything about web design. You can explain the class, what you'll learn. Most of the best teachers on Udemy actually have some sort of video so that people can preview it and see exactly what they're going to be learning. We got requirements, descriptions, reviews, all sorts of stuff here, and other recommendations. So it's very convenient, as you can see. However, this type of convenience does come at a cost. I'm all for getting your courses and other products on a marketplace, but I'm also a firm believer that your main revenue should arrive via your own website. Um, that way you would have full control over your branding, and almost every penny of the sale price goes into your pocket. However, Udemy sees it as, they have this marketplace, and they're marketing your particular class, like photography masterclass, to thousands, maybe even millions of users. So they are taking a pretty large cut when they know that it the students have come to your class because of Udemy. So there's a lot to talk about. In this Udemy review, I'll break down the pros and cons, along with the types of business people or companies in general who should include Udemy in their marketing arsenal. Okay, so let's start out with all the pros. Udemy provides a strong community of people, of users, and a beautiful search tool for getting around and making it really easy for millions, thousands of eyes to get onto your courses. If you'd like to start making some passive income while you build your own audience, I'd say Udemy works out pretty well. And as you can see, if you take a look at some of these teachers, some of them are getting thousands of ratings, reviews. This guy has 35,000 students enrolled in one class. So, he sells it usually for close to $200. Most of the time you'll see on Udemy, there are sales all the time. So that little crossed out $200 is probably not at all what it usually is. But they can make a lot of money off of this. So it's a great place for supplementing your income if you already have your own website and following. And another thing, if you take a look at the student feedback, it really gives users a great example of what your course is going to be like. People who are beginners in photography might see, oh, this, really was far too advanced for some beginners. So, that's a huge advantage. There's the reviews on there, there's plenty of users. So the advantages for Udemy are pretty plentiful. And if you take a look at some of the topics and the subjects that people are looking for, there's all sorts of niches that you can get into. So that's another reason you might consider Udemy. And honestly, you can just scroll through here. If you're having trouble thinking of a course that you might be good at to teach other people, you can go through the categories and say, oh, hey, I like going to the gym and remaining fit. So you could go to fitness. They have all sorts of sub topics like muscle building, home workout. Maybe you're really good at working out at home or something, and you could put together a nice video for people. Testosterone, teacher training, strength training, all that stuff. So I really like the way it's categorized in Udemy because it allows you to pick a course, a niche, and focus on that with your videos. Now, we talked about the reviews before, but that's only a small portion of the community that comes along with Udemy. If you've ever heard of lynda.com, I personally feel like the quality of courses is higher with lynda.com. However, Udemy stands out because of the quantity of people and the rating system. Not only that, but you get a strong community of people in chat forums. So people talk to each other all the time on this website, and some people will go straight to the Udemy website whenever they need to download a course, and they'll pick the best one that they find or the one that's most relevant to them. So, and it also helps that Udemy offers significant discounts throughout the year. So it is quite an appealing place for customers and students to be when they're looking for courses like this. Now, if we scroll up a little bit, you'll notice there's all sorts of information here. So they'll explain the instructors, where they're from, why they're so qualified, instructor rating, reviews, how many students they've had. It's a great area to, for people to learn about who they're going to be learning from. Um, but we'll also look at the course content here. Now, this is extremely important for one main reason. It's very easy to upload your course content and organize it in such a way like this. So, we have the introduction, and these are all video courses. So, what you would do is create the videos yourself, you'd have them on your computer, and then you would just upload every single one of them into a certain category. So, setting up your wedding photography business, it's 15 lectures. You don't have to type that in. It's already, once you upload your 15 videos, Udemy already knows what's going on. And then you just name it all, and then people can click on these, and it's pretty much all set up for you. So you don't have to create your own WordPress site and get a theme that's made just for online courses. Now, I would recommend that to have on the side because that's your primary business, in my opinion. But this is a great way, to get all of those courses online quickly and potentially selling within just a few hours. And everything else is done for you. So we're talking about web design, we're talking about marketing. One of the biggest ways to market online courses is through emails, email marketing. But the thing is, you still have to customize all those emails. That's a lot of work that goes into it, whether it's some sort of automated program or whatnot. And I was trying to find it, see where the Udemy email subscription is. It's somewhere on here. But basically, any user on Udemy can sign up for their particular newsletter. And obviously, it's not going to be branded to your company or your course, but it's nice because it's just another source of income that you don't have to market. Oh, and this is just a bonus up here, but Udemy for Business, there are tons of businesses out there that might want to pay for your courses that would relate to their employees in some way. If they're trying to teach their employees how to better design websites, then and they think that your course is the best to do that, that's another way to make money. But if we take a look at this right here, become an instructor. So that's kind of the page that you would start out with if you were going to be uploading your videos. So if we scroll down here, it tells you a little bit about earning money right here. You earn money every time a student purchases your course. You get paid monthly through PayPal or Payoneer. Those are two very popular payment gateways. It's not exactly the most amount of choices you would want. You'd probably be better off going through WordPress or even Shopify if you wanted to get something else like Stripe or Authorize.net. But it totally depends on where you're located and how much in fees you're willing to pay for those. So that's uh, a thing to think about when you're going with Udemy. You are a little bit limited when it comes to the payment processors. Now, a final pro that I do have is we can look right over here. It talks about what's included with these courses, and this kind of depends on who's selling the courses. But most of them have downloadable resources. A big one is full lifetime access. So once someone pays this 12 bucks, they have it for life. They can also access it on mobile and TVs. And there's some other things like a certificate of completion. So this is pretty cool, especially the access on a TV and mobile. So, someone could be on the train and, on their phone and still learning if they want to, or they can sit on their couch and do it. And then the full lifetime access is pretty huge because that's not always the case with these types of marketplaces. Okay, so now let's look at some of the cons of Udemy. Most of the cons have to do with pricing and control of your product. It's kind of like selling on Amazon. All of a sudden, all your branding is stripped. Most people are receiving emails from Amazon and they got the logo in there, and the customers aren't necessarily being pushed back to your website. It's the same with Udemy. And one of the big reasons I have a problem with it, it's not huge. I mean, it's still bringing in money for you, but you keep 97% of your revenue um, when you bring the students to your Udemy course. So that has to be through your own marketing. However, if Udemy brings to your course through their marketing efforts, as you can see right here, you only keep 50% of the sale. So I would assume that the majority of the sales that are going through Udemy are going to be because they brought them in for you. Now, you can't really complain that much since they're doing a lot of the work and they have to pay for their own bills. But 50% is kind of a lot. So you just have to keep that in mind and just know that as well as not getting 50% of each sale, the emails that go out are going to be branded for Udemy. You're going to have to also compete with the big dogs. Now, so what do I mean by the big dogs? What I mean is these people who have either been on Udemy for a very long time or those who have created extremely comprehensive courses and they already have thousands of ratings. So let's just take a look, for example, at Adobe Lightroom. I'm just using this as an example. Um, we have the Adobe Lightroom Classic CC Photo Editing Masterclass. They're only charging 12 bucks for it. They already have 4.3 stars, and that's from over 2,000 ratings. And if you scroll down here, we got 400 ratings, 200 ratings, 300 ratings. So, these are all people you have to compete with once you get started. So obviously you have to start somewhere. I would probably recommend to create some sort of niche in these categories. So for example, we have landscapes photography. Lightroom editing in for landscape photography. So that's a little bit of a niche, if you wanted to do portrait editing, or let's see what we got here. If there's anything else, just photo sharpening, that's just one feature in Adobe Lightroom that photographers work with. So, you might be able to find a little bit of a niche there, but that's definitely something to consider. It's a con, in my opinion. Okay, so the final con, we already talked about the pricing and how Udemy will most likely take 50% of your sale most of the time because that's where most of the customers are coming from. But Udemy also is notorious for slashing prices. Um, if you take a look up here, the best courses now starting at 10.99. And we can just stick on this page right here and see that the primary prices, and obviously you have a little control over this, but it's not always the case. Udemy is known for having site-wide sales very consistently too. I've bought courses from Udemy myself for 5, 10 bucks when they're originally listed as over $100. So that will cut into your margins, and you don't always have full control over it. If we just scroll down here, most of these are just $12. And these are huge courses that are going to take hours upon hours to make. So you just have to, once again, consider that when you're thinking about your plan. Okay, so that's what we mainly have for our Udemy review. Hopefully it was helpful. Um, for in terms of who should consider Udemy as an online course sales tool, I like it for people who want to find a separate revenue stream to pair with their current online course website. That's primarily what I would say. I think you can make a lot of money with your own website, which is what I think the savviest business people would end up doing. The community at Udemy will certainly help accumulate additional sales, while the quick course building tools cut down on so much work that you would have to do yourself. Um, so yeah, that's just about it. If you have any questions about Udemy, ask us in the comments. Thanks for tuning in.